Yo, welcome everybody. My name is American Riot, and today we have another video for you all. If you're still here after those brutal metal vocals, then this is the channel that's right for you. And if you like looter shooters, if you like survival games, if you like battle royale games every once in a while, this is the place for you. So be sure to leave a like if you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. So today we're going to talk about Lost Light. So what is Lost Light? Lost Light is a free-to-play game that just released on Steam a few days ago. It used to be a mobile game, well it still is, and then NetEase ported it over to Steam. So what is it exactly? Well, it's very heavily inspired by Escape from Tarkov and also takes inspiration from games like PUBG and The Division. But let me tell you how they explain it, as they will explain it much better than me. All right, so on their store page, it says that you can enlist in Task Force Firefly and unveil the sinister plot behind the exclusion zone in this world of Lost Light. You can either scavenge for supplies or go in guns blazing and plunder. Survive the brutal domain where danger lurks behind every corner. That sounds very dramatic. I'm reading it dramatic, but it's also very dramatic how they put their commas and exclamation marks. All right, factories, harbors, and forests. These once familiar sites have been desecrated by the wrath of the apocalypse. Never neglect small details on the battlefield or there will be fatal consequences. You must know your weapons. You must know your equipment. Explore every corner of the battlefield. Learn to effectively deal with hunger, pain, make tactical plans, complete survival commissions, scavenge for supplies, and hone your skills to survive in the exclusion zone, aka the raid. From structures to textures, the firearms in this game are meticulously created to provide players with the most realistic firearm experience. Each firearm supports 12 modifiable parts and hundreds of components to choose from to optimize your loadout from hundreds of possibilities. Of course, the system will also provide several recommended loadouts as well. It goes on to talk about the tactics of the game, what you can do before moving out, basically your hideout, diversified social interactions as far as picking up down players, and you can actually interact with players to extract certain extractions, very Tarkov-like, and crossplay, which is interesting because there is crossplay and PC players play with mobile players. Like, what? That's crazy. It doesn't even make sense. But it's there, and you completely dunk on mobile guys when you run across them. But anyway, I digress. So that is what Lost Light is in a nutshell. And I want to tell you all today what my experience is with it. I've got 14 hours in the game, and, well, to tell you if it's worth your time to download it. It's an 8 gigabyte download, and it's free. So chances are you may not have anything to lose other than 8 gigabytes worth of space, but I'll go ahead and tell you now to save you a little time. Okay, so I'm going to be honest. When I first booted the game up, there was like all kind of stuff, user interface all over the place. Click this, click that, click here, click that. It was a little overwhelming. The graphics like didn't look very good. There were some textures that are like, okay, that looks pretty decent and clean, and other ones are like, clearly this was a mobile game that was ported over to Steam. I mean, like that's exactly what it is. But after messing around in the hideout and kind of learning the layout of things, it wasn't so bad. My buddy and I, Zach Attack, kind of stumbled through it together and figured that out. And we did a couple duo raids, which you're seeing on the screen here. I'm also going to have the hideout up here as we're talking. The game actually does a really good job at holding your hand for like the first hour, taking you through the tutorial and walking you through all the bullshit on the screen. And I appreciate that. I also wish there wasn't so much, and I kind of wish it was at your own discretion. You don't really get an option whether or not the game's going to walk you through it, but all the quests at the beginning of the game are kind of like, go to your table and build this, or go out in the world and loot this, and, you know, put this on your gun, craft this object, upgrade your shelter, right? Which your shelter is the equivalent of the hideout in Tarkov. So while I can appreciate it, it's still a little annoying. The tutorial is a little long, like I said, about an hour or so. You can't even play with your friends until level 5. So those first 5 levels is it really just holding your hand, taking you through it. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say the game doesn't even really start until level 15, because level 15 is when you can start playing ranked matches. And it's going to take you several hours to get to level 15. So I kind of don't like that either, that I have to play this game several hours in order just to even unlock the ranked matches. But before ranked, you can play Factory. It's called Bath Factory is the name of the map. You get that right off the bat. It's very reminiscent of Factory, like go figure, right? From Tarkov. The next map you unlock is at level 10. It's called Mount Ikayama. That map is very reminiscent of Woods, I would say. You can play that at level 10. Woodswept Harbor is reminiscent of Customs, I would say, and that's unlocked at level 12. And then Arc Company is the final map, at least that we have right now in this game, and that's unlocked at level 15. So you unlocked ranked gameplay and you unlock Arc Company, which is that last map. And that one is kind of reminiscent of the lab in Tarkov when it comes to the key cards and kind of the setup. It is more of an outdoor map, and it does have like kind of like some lab vibes when you go in. But those are the maps. That's kind of the gameplay loop. You go in, you loot, you get out. You can encounter other fireflies. They call them fireflies instead of PMCs. You can encounter other fireflies in the map. Some maps you can have up to 6 other players in it. Other maps up to 9, up to 12. So there are different raid locations. The different maps will have different PvP opportunities, but my community and I noticed that you really don't run into a ton of players at all. Like, it actually took me probably 13 or 14 hours before I ran into my first player. And that sounds wild, I know. There were fireflies that enter the map. It tells you when you're playing, oh, a firefly's entered. I never ran into them. Also, the likelihood of you running into a player when you're playing duos, in my experience, and after kind of talking to some of the community on their Discord, is very rare, because most players will queue in solo, and then it's just the way the game works that it doesn't even really put you against other players until the later ranks, like after level 15, and particularly in the early to mid 20s. A ton of Lost Light players say that you run into players when you're in your 20s. And I don't like that about this game. I really, really wish that it was... Everything is so similar to Tarkov anyway. Like, why not give you the opportunity to fight players really early on? I know that this is has a big mobile community, and they're going to make it's free to play. They're going to make their money off people kind of staying in and buying cosmetics and enjoying that experience. But, I mean, at the very least, ranked, you should always run into players on ranked. And in my experience, every single ranked match that I've played, I have run into real players. Although it's only a couple per map, I'm really interested to see if the longer you play ranked, maybe it will fill the lobbies with more people. There's over 1,000 people that are playing this game on Steam right now, so I just would assume that you would run into more players than I have. Finally, a player, don't get clapped. Oh, a player just joined. And I got a shitty-ass gun.
You can shoot legs. You'll be fine.
I saw you.
Also, this guy actually has a MH carbine if you want to use that.
It was at this moment that he knew.
The player
he fucked up.
So that's as far as the gameplay loop goes. Gunfights feel pretty solid. The audio quality on this game is something to be desired as far as the gunshots, though. However, the equipment, the vest, the armor, the guns themselves, the upgrades whenever you customize your weapons and put attachment on, it all looks pretty cool. The inventory system is smooth. It will actually automatically move things around your backpack to make room for objects, which is nice. It's streamlined, right? It's a lot more streamlined. The aesthetics of the game, as far as the art style goes, I really appreciate. It is kind of grounded in realism. It's more gritty. I definitely can appreciate that. The voice acting, the taglines are pretty trash. They're not the worst I've ever seen, but you'll kill a scav and they'll still be talking. Like, it's just crazy. Like, they're dead. And then when you shoot somebody, you have to run over to them and execute them. That's kind of annoying. They will eventually bleed out, but it just really, to me, kills the immersion, because the death animations look pretty cool when they fall down, but then they just roll back over and it's like, please don't kill me. I have a family. And you're like, this is, I don't know.
I can't die. She's waiting for me.
That's to be desired as well. So that's the gameplay loop as far as that goes. There are tons of customization options for your hideout. Anything that you can kind of think that's standard for a looter shooter is going to be in this game. And I do think Lost Light does a really good job at implementing a lot of those features. And they give you a ton of stuff, from tons of things to loot, tons of different ammo types, and a lot of different weapons, which I really appreciate. I'll be honest, I did not expect to spend 15 or 16 hours on this game the last 3 or 4 streams. I just cannot believe that I just kept coming back and playing it. So it does have an addictive quality to it. And that, like, that says a lot, because I don't play games like this normally, like that are were mobile games. I do play looter shooters, and I love games like Escape from Tarkov and games like DayZ and PUBG and Scum. And a lot of my community plays those same games, and they've all been saying the same thing to me. Like, dude, I'm kind of addicted to this game right now. Like, it's fun. And it is. The fun factor is there. It's a free game too. It's 8 gigabytes. So I definitely think it's worth downloading and checking out, especially if you like these games. Look, it is not the most beautiful game on the planet. It is just overall not the best game. It's sitting at like 6 out of 10 on Steam for various reasons, but I do think it is fun and it's free, and I've definitely got my free 99 money's worth out of it, especially with the hours I put into it. And you're able to play with 2 players or 4 players. So it's kind of weird. You can't do 3 players in a group, but you can do 2 or 4. Certain locations you can only raid at certain times with 4 players. That's kind of odd too, but I think it has to do with them just trying to make sure the matchmaking times aren't very long. And the longest I ever had to wait to get into a match, well, actually, I didn't get in a match at all. We tried to do a 4-player ranked game, and we couldn't. But if you're not playing ranked, we were able to get into games pretty quickly. But yeah, that's my take on it. I really enjoyed this game. There's a lot of things that could be improved in it. Like, I'm not going to go into all the details. Overall, it's a fun game. I don't know if NetEase Games is really going to support this game too much. People that have been playing it a while say that they've been putting out really big updates every 4 or 5 months for it and doing wipes. We'll see. I'm not going to hold my breath on it. I'm really excited for Marauders to come out. I've been playing the new wipe on EFT as well, and I'm playing a little bit of the Cycle and playing a little bit of the Hunt Showdown. But overall, I think for a free game, this really kind of took me by surprise, and I really enjoyed it, and I definitely think it's worth y'all's time to check it out. Yo, if you guys made it this far, thank you so much for listening to the video. Thank you so much for watching our content. I hope it added value to you. And if you're not subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, or a thumbs down if you didn't like the video. Until the next one, we'll see you. Wait, I'll see you on the next video. Let's go!